I would not be surprised if I go through this whole year and this is my favorite movie at the end of the year. What do you want, Al?
Shouldn't have said. God, I really wish you wouldn't have said that.
Hi, I'm Al. Welcome to CiNEMACHiNE. I'm here with Ryan.
Howdy.
And Brandon.
Hello there.
And this week we are going to review the movie you all voted on. But before we get to that, we want to make sure that you all know how to get in touch with us, find us where you can vote, and all that jazz. Ryan, you want to tell them where they can do all that?
Yep. Here on YouTube, you can drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think of the episode, what you think of the movie that we review. Also, you can find us on Instagram at CiNEMACHiNEPod. And that's where every week we put a graphic up where you can vote on what movie you want to see reviewed the following week. And we also have a lot of fun movie conversations. So,
Yes, we have a lot of fun ribbing each other about who might win, lobbying for our movie. So be sure to stay tuned to see what we nominate this week. I'm sure we all have some doozies, and I am surprised just as much as everyone else is. I am the winner this week, and
you're really surprised? I feel like this movie's gotten a lot of buzz.
This movie does have a lot of buzz because I said it was my number one movie of 2020, and everybody's like, we got to get on that. That's exactly what happened.
Al liked it.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Hollywood. So this week we are reviewing, because all of you voted on it, thank you very much, Promising Young Woman. Now, this was released in 2020 on Christmas Day in theaters, but it was released, as far as streaming goes, it's still in theaters, but you can stream it now for the theaters at home rental, $20 on pretty much any streaming platform you can rent movies on. This is Promising Young Woman, so pretty excited. Emerald Fennell is the director. This is her directorial debut. I didn't know that when I originally talked about it. Budget we don't know, and box office so far, which is pretty impressive, $4,119,079. I am
That's
a little bit of that money,
considering.
Yeah, it is. I am
like,
a little bit of that money.
To see it?
Yeah, I paid the $79 to see it.
What you don't know, it's about $100,000 for a ticket, so it's like 41 people.
Yeah, I think the kids at the theater were joshing me a little bit. They were like, "Yeah, old man, here's your ticket, $700." So we have Carrie Mulligan as Cassandra Thomas, Bo Burnham as Dr. Ryan Cooper, Allison Brie as Madison McPhee, Clancy Brown as Stanley Thomas, Jennifer Coolidge as Susan Thomas, Laverne Cox as Gail, Chris Lowell as Al Monroe, Connie Britton as Dean Elizabeth Walker, Adam Brody as Jerry, Max Greenfield as Joe McElmore III. Now, there's other folks in here. You got what's Christopher Mintz-Plasse? What's his name in Superbad? McLovin. Yeah. Yeah. He's in this. Alfred Molina, Molly Shannon, which was surprised to see, and Sam Richardson. So we'll first go around, talk about initial thoughts, and then we'll go from there. Brandon, let's start with you. What were your initial thoughts? How did you see this, etc.?
I think, I know Ryan and I saw it the same way, which was we had a one-day advanced screening from the digital release. So we watched it on Thursday, one day before all you normal people got to see it.
Did the watermark drive you crazy? It was driving me freaking nuts.
A little bit. So we watched it on like a Focus Features, like, I don't know, advanced screening. Usually this would be like you go to the theater and see it in advance, but they did this digitally because of reasons.
You said there was a watermark?
Yeah, they had the Focus
it was
Features
like
logo that like shifted around the screen.
And,
really?
Like a unique number to your stream so that if you tried to copyright or re-upload it or something, they would know who did it.
I get it.
Yep.
Because I did that, and now
Now he's indicted.
Yeah.
You're off parole, right?
Do as I say, not as I do. But yeah, so we watched it that way, and a lot of hype behind this, especially from Mr. Moses here, his #1 movie of the year and all.
Yeah, you really snuck that in the tail end there.
But let's be honest. I made a special trip to the theater with like tons of stuff
I'm not
going
knocking
on.
you. I'm just saying.
I'm not either. I'm just saying that it was my #1 anticipated, so I had to make sure I saw it. It would make no sense for me not to have seen it. So, all right. So, Brandon, initial thoughts?
I thought this was okay. I don't know. This kind of happens with movies that kind of get hyped up for me. I don't really know what I was expecting because I don't think I watched the trailer, but I felt like it was very stylistic, but I felt like it just lacked any kind of substance or story.
Yeah. So for me, this is one of those, like, kind of like how you were talking about with Arch Enemy last week. It kind of falls into the Santa Claus movie we just watched.
Batman.
Yeah, where, I don't know, like, there's so much hype around it that I don't know. I guess I expected it to be something that it did not turn out to be.
Well, I mean, that's the dangers of, watching it after you see my top 5 and I'm like, oh, raving about it, excited about it. But also, I mean, this movie's got buzz all over the place, like you were saying. It's not just a moi.
Hey, Al.
Yeah.
We're just messing with you. We both loved it.
I figured as much.
We were texting each other earlier today. We're like, let's just dog on this movie just for a little bit to see how Al reacts.
I don't think I was upset.
It was so great.
You took it pretty well.
Good job of taking, yeah. It's great, but I could just tell you're really disappointed. Like, oh
no. I just was like, it's gonna be a blasé conversation. Because here's the thing, as much as we all like talking about movies, I haven't been able to talk about this movie to anyone because I don't want to spoil it. So, please,
that's part of why we did it.
Yeah, please make sure that you watch this movie before you watch this, because we're gonna spoil this movie pretty much from the get-go. Just talking about this movie a little bit, it spoils the movie, in my opinion. So that's why I didn't say much about it on our top 5 or top 10 or whatever that was, our top 2020. So please go watch Promising Young Woman right away. Let me ask you this. If you didn't have the free screener, that's what we're going to call it for right now, would you have been upset if you paid $20 to watch this as a rental?
I wouldn't have been upset.
No. After the fact, no.
But I just don't. I just don't do that. Like, I don't think I would do that for. I mean, there are certain movies I would do that for.
That's what I mean. But like, it's a risk for me to pay $20 to see a movie that I haven't seen before. I
would just go to the theater like I did. I mean, it wasn't available to stream when I watched it.
Sure.
I watched it the week prior to you guys, and
right.
I mean, I paid $250,000 to see it, but it was a good theater experience. And being that it was my most anticipated, because let's give a little backstory. This movie was hyped during 2019 quite a bit, and it was supposed to come out at the beginning of 2020. And then all the hullabaloo started and everybody got, sick and whatnot. And they were like, we're going to push this like every other movie in the world. And it really didn't find a place. And which was kind of like, I think they understood they had something here. That's why they really waited until it could be back in theaters. Because if you think about it.
Well, I think wasn't it like a Sundance Darling type thing. And
It was
January
very,
of last year.
Yeah, it was very well respected. But the funny thing is that Promising Young Woman just went to Sundance this year. That's the weird thing. That's how weird this movie is. It's like topsy-turvy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was buzzed about last year. You're right, Brandon.
Well, okay. I'm just looking at, I glanced over the Wikipedia earlier, and it says that it debuted in January of 2020 at Sundance.
So it did. But then they did some kind of screening. It's not a real Sundance this year, I don't think. I think it's like a screening type thing. So it was involved there again. I was listening to a podcast the other day because I wanted to talk about it so bad. I just listened to podcast about it so I could like talk back to the podcast.
I understand. I have many of those
and
podcasts.
they were kind of talking about it. So anyway, but yeah, this movie, I enjoyed it as we all know. I wouldn't have put it as my, I don't know, not much was up for debate for 2020 as far as movies go. So,
Yeah.
But I think on a regular year, this movie would have been up there in my top 5 at least, depending on the year. If it came out the same year as Green Room, maybe number 2. But
everybody knows that.
yeah. I mean,
since we've kind of already like, done the whole we're just playing, we didn't like it, yada 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 thing. I guess we should probably tell you exactly how we feel now.
I'm good.
Al's like, no, I'm good. I just want to talk about it for an hour.
It's like this. I'm a filibuster. I'm a filibuster like I did with Trimmers last week. I saw both of your faces
Tremors,
melting
plural.
last week.
The Tremors.
And then Tremors 6 comes around. And,
so if you go back and watch that episode, it's hilarious. Brandon's like, Ryan's like this. It's like, he looks like the kid that didn't get the toy he wanted at the store. He's just so upset that I'm still talking about it because I'm like, Tremors 1. So anyway, go ahead, Brandon. What were your initial thoughts? Your initial thoughts?
Yeah. My only regret with this movie is that
you didn't watch it sooner.
I had to watch it in the bedroom because of the piracy issues with doing it on a computer.
Yeah,
I couldn't play it in the theater, and I also felt like the watermark stuff was annoying me. But other than that, I really didn't have many issues with this movie. I thought it was really good. Melissa also enjoyed it. She stayed up. This tells you how good I guess this movie is at least for a casual viewer like Melissa. We watched this laying on our backs in bed, and she didn't fall asleep. So
where she's usually sitting up in a chair in your theater,
right.
and she's like,
yeah. Sometimes she's more likely to stay awake if she's doing that in the theater, but in the bed, it's like there's no chance she's staying awake. But she stayed awake through this whole movie.
Yeah.
So,
it's got a good story. So I'm
thought
glad that you both liked it. What did Luna think about it?
Yet to be determined.
She's got a couple more birthdays to go.
She's got to think about it. But no, I did really think it was super stylistic in a good way. Like I thought that cinematography was really good. I loved the chapter nature of it. And just thought that pretty much, you wouldn't have assumed this was like a directorial debut. Like it was
I'm
very
sorry,
well
I gotta
made.
interrupt you. I thought you were about to say, I wouldn't have assumed Al's favorite movie was good.
Well, that is true. He ain't lying. But no, I thought that for the most part, all the performances were really good. This is a great cast in it. Like I didn't know who all was in this movie besides, I knew that Carrie Mulligan was in it. I think I knew Bo Burnham was in it because you mentioned that in your review. And I didn't know Allison Brie was in it. Clancy Brown. I didn't know, Alfred Molina. I was continually, but to the point to where it didn't really take me out of the movie. I was like, oh, that's cool. They're in this. The only one that was like, I guess not necessarily a shock, but I kept trying to figure out who this guy was that I'd seen him in previous work was it could be the Sam Richardson guy. Who's the guy that gets married at the end? It's got the bachelor party. The guy that actually is getting married. That may be the Sam Richardson guy.
Monroe.
Is that his name? Chris
Lowell. That's his Chris Lowell. Yeah.
Lowell. Yeah. I was like, man, I know this guy from somewhere. I can't figure it out. But he was in Glow, which I love. So is Allison Brie. But anyway, I digress. Just a little plug for Glow there. Go watch it. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought it was great. Good all around. Kept me on the edge of my bed. so yeah, I'll go into it more. But
that's awesome. I'm glad you and Melissa both liked it. So, Ryan, did you watch this with the wifey?
So I started this. I tried to, when we had our screening, I tried to pause it, and it paused for like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. I was waiting for her to come home from a doctor's appointment, but then they took the pause functionality away. So it started before she got home, but when she got home...
Well, it's funny. I read the FAQ of it, like, while we were like in the waiting room or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, sometimes you can pause, but sometimes you can't. Just depends. But you can sometimes you can pause up to 2 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. It just depends on the movie. And I was like, okay. And then it was like, we recommend watching this on a as big TV as possible, but due to some restrictions, AirPlay does not work. Chromecasting does not work. You might have issues with HDCP if you hook this up to it. So it's like, what? How am I going to watch this movie?
So the biggest phone you can find it is.
Right. So she jumped in probably a half hour into it, and from the moment she came home, she kind of looked out the corner of her eye, and she was just sucked in. I would not be surprised if I go through this whole year and this is my favorite movie at the end of the year. What do you want, Al?
Shouldn't have said. God, I really wish you wouldn't have said that.
I'm so happy right now.
Look, I'm an honest guy, all right? And it may not be the case, okay? Al may not be happy at the end of the year. Let's hope he's not, okay?
Well, it's a good chance.
No, this one was edge of the bed, edge of the seat, wherever you were watching it is a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Twists you back and forth, and the semi-comedy that they it was dark but not really dark comedy that they included in there was tasteful, and
some of it was straight comedy. Some of it was just...
so the guy at the end, spoilers everybody, the guy from New Girl, I think.
Max Greenfield. Yeah,
dude is hilarious. I was dying watching him.
Yeah, he plays a perfect d-bag frat guy so kind of thing.
I mean, cinematography was awesome. I loved the music, kind of like the stringed variations of songs and stuff.
I even like
Toxic at the end was really cool.
I even like the pop music right at the beginning. I think it's Charlie XCX Boys or something like that. And people are touting this soundtrack quite a bit, so it's funny you bring that up. But please move forward. Sorry.
Yeah. We can jump into I won't say anymore until we jump into the full review, but I enjoyed it a lot.
I am a Carrie Mulligan fan. I like a lot of her movies.
Are you a Carrie Mulligan fan or a Bonnie Hunt fan? Because she looks just like Bonnie Hunt.
So interesting fact, I had a little crush on Bonnie Hunt when I was a kid, so that
there you go,
gets right into my psyche.
I was watching this and I was like, am I watching like Jerry Maguire after like a few years, or
Cheaper by the Dozen 3?
Yeah,
the weird years. I like Carrie Mulligan. I think she's great. I think I want to say the first thing I saw her in was Drive. I'm not sure though. I think it was Drive. Like most people, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The first thing I saw her in was Great Gatsby.
Well. So
Don't interrupt him.
But no, she's in a lot of independent films, and so I think she's great. It baffles me that she's not from America because she does the American accent so well. She just plain Jane American, but I think she lights up the screen like a true actress should. Allison Brie does that, and then Max Greenfield, he steals a lot of the show at the end of the movie, especially when he comes in at the very end to the bedroom where the carnage has happened, and we'll get into that in a little while. But like Brandon was saying, I think the cast, all but McLovin, I think everybody was great. I think he kind of pulls away because I think he is forever that character, McLovin, and it's hard to not see him as a teenager.
McLovin.
Yeah, he looks like a teenager in a grown man's body, so it's really strange. Yeah. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. I really enjoyed all the performances, so I'll go over to you guys. Even Molly Shannon. I thought Molly Shannon was convincing as a mom grief, with grief, and so I'll kick it over to you guys. How did you feel about and Bo Burnham? I'm not the biggest fan of Bo Burnham's stand-up and Bo Burnham in general, but I thought he was very
I've
charismatic.
never watched a single Bo Burnham anything, and I thought he was great in this movie.
Yeah, he's very charismatic. He was in Parks and Recreation once as the country guy, and
Gotcha.
that was funny. He was very funny in that, but I will say that he's actually a pretty good actor, so from just this little piece that I've seen him in. So kick it over to you guys. Ryan, let's start with you. What'd you think about the performances? Was there one that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Carrie Mulligan, hands down, steals the show in this one for me. When she's on screen, it's just like, it just totally pulls your attention. Allison Brie was a little meh for me.
I thought she was great when she came in with that camera. Like when she came over, don't you ever call me again? Like
yeah.
When she came back in,
I know
she was great.
It's a hard one because I've seen her in that. I know she starred in that show Community or something like that. And this may just be a case of me just not really liking an actress in general. Like I don't know what you guys think of it. I don't know what you guys. I know you like Glow. She's in Glow, Brandon, right?
Yep.
Are you?
I like her. I'm a fan of hers.
Okay.
I like her.
Yeah, I like Allison Brie.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, I don't know. For some reason, if I was going to pick out of the list of kind of like the people I remember from the movie, she was one of the weaker ones for me. Carrie Mulligan, Bo Burnham were the top two. I enjoyed her parents as well. The dynamic was cool.
It was hard to see that was Jennifer Coolidge at first, the mom.
Yeah,
because Jennifer Coolidge is usually the exact same character every single movie, the ditzy blonde, or so it's
and
good.
I like I said at the beginning, the new guy is awesome at the end. He's so great. New girl guy. Sorry.
Annoying. But I thought that her performance as the dean was really good, especially the moment that she thinks she finds out that Carrie Mulligan scared her, dropped her daughter off.
You can feel that see in her eyes, like that cold feeling you get when you get shocked by something.
Yeah.
I thought that performance was really good.
This shows you how stupid some people are. Yeah, your favorite boy band's up at this diner, and it's like, what? Like, just get in the car. Come on, let's go. Yeah. You're a grown teenager. Like, seriously, you believe that? So, but I mean, so that scene where she says, "Brains ain't never done a girl no good," or something like that. That's from the trailer, and this trailer was done very well. I'll say that. Carrie Mulligan, the end scene. Okay, so we've given you all the spoiler warnings you're getting. So
I feel like in our episodes we give like 8 spoiler warnings.
I mean, seriously, it's like, good Lord. But when she's dressed up in the nurse's costume with the colorful wig and everything, that's they really did push the color, especially in the posters and everything, the pinks and magentas and stuff like that. So in that regard, that's what kind of got me in there, because it kind of felt like a Nicholas Winding Refn type movie to me. And on top of that, she's in Drive, so Nicholas Winding Refn. So I was hoping for something at least in that ballpark, because I like his stuff. And it is not a Nicholas Winding Refn movie, but it is stylistic, like we were talking about. The colors, the sets, everything, just they stand out. That little coffee shop that she works in, it stands out, and I just felt like so Laverne Cox is from my hometown of Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile,
and
Pride and joy.
Talk about Mobile. And she was all right. She was serviceable. She was all right, but I mean, she was supposed to be a side character. I think she was in Orange Is the New Black, if I'm not mistaken. I think, Brandon, you watched that show, didn't you? So
I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah, she was.
Okay. So anyway, she was all right, but I felt like
there were a few, like, I wouldn't say that across. I think I mentioned this as far as performances. I think she was one of the weaker links. McLovin also a little bit of a weak link. Maybe more of a distraction than a weak link.
I think that's what it was.
I think that's just a casting thing.
I think whoever the extra, I don't know if he's an extra, but the guy that was at the bar that she gets caught like going home with him, and then
the guy with the hat.
That guy was very weak in terms of acting ability, and then he has that like, why are you doing this or whatever? Like he walks away, ruin everything. I was like,
but what was funny is she alluded to the fact that there were more people out there doing this. It wasn't just her. So if you don't know what we're talking about, then you haven't watched the movie. So again, go watch the movie. But so she acts like she's drunk.
Is that ever confirmed that there is, or like, other than her
that's
saying
the only
it?
like line that's
it's not like
what I remember.
It's not like a news story in the background or anything, like some movies would do.
But I didn't remember any other allusions to that. Other than her just saying it to potentially, it could have been true, or it also could have been just to make him stop doing it, to freak him out.
Yeah, but somebody else said something about somebody stabbed, or I can't remember what it was, but somebody hurt somebody or something like that, and she was like, agreeing with that, so
like, do we know that it's not her, like that she's not doing those things for sure?
We don't. We just know what we see, Ryan. You saw the same movie I saw.
Well, I know. We're discussing.
Just saying. No,
red lines in the notebook.
No. Well, yeah, I know she had all those different lines in there for different measures, so she very well could have been. But she was. I mean, that notebook was pretty full.
I guess it could have been people thought it was different people because she had different disguises in each, so they may have assumed it was all.
Yeah. She became the Predator after a while, but
from the beginning, man.
Yeah,
I was so when they started going through the montage with her and Bo Burnham. Mm-hmm. I was like, I swear to God, if they end this movie like this, I'm gonna be so mad. Like, like happily ever after thing.
Well, like whenever everything flips in their relationship,
this lady's crazy. Everybody's crazy in this movie.
Yeah, Al's crazy for liking it. So whenever everything flips and she finds out that after Allison Brie drops off the phone with the video in there or whatever. Her whole demeanor changes so quickly, and it looks, it's such a good performance that it's amazing that she's full tears. You really do feel for her. Her heart is so broken in many different ways, because now she's finding out that this guy that she's finally let her walls down for has betrayed her in the past, in the one thing that she had her walls up for to begin with. And it's just
for me, it was more of like, I mean, there was that element, but for me, it was more of her just realizing that like she's never going to be able to like escape the darkness because of this thing, and she's just,
oh yeah, no, and
like,
the ending of this movie is so fitting. But yeah, whenever she was like, when she goes into his doctor's office and starts quasi threatening him, you know, or straight up threatening him.
Straight up.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Are you threatening me?
Yeah. Yeah. Man, Bo Burnham did some good acting right there, where he looked terrified. He looked like everything I worked for is over, da da da. So,
I'll be honest, I did not see his voice in the video coming.
Oh no,
like,
I didn't.
I did not see that coming at all.
Did you see it coming, Brandon?
No. And I honestly, in the moment, I was like, is that his voice? And then kind of, maybe it's not. And then, you know.
Well, somebody said his name in the video, and I was like, oh no.
You don't have the British accent excuse this time.
Yeah, Brandon. It's all American.
They don't allow subtitles in these focus feature screeners, so.
Good thing Tenet wasn't no focus feature screener.
Focus feature
screener.
Al's dad's entered the podcast.
Hey, boy.
But no,
Full disclosure, I've never met Al's dad. This is just how Al does his dad's voice.
Al's dad is Larry the Cable Guy.
No, he's not that bad. But anyway, I felt like Bo Burnham had great acting chops right there, where his like, he just kind of crumbled right there. So I was like, wow, Bo Burnham's a good actor. That was what kind of, because I was like, you know, anybody can be Jim from The Office, kind of like charismatic, nice guy next door kind of thing. Yeah. And like their whole thing where he came back and he was flirting with her, kept coming back to the little coffee shop and everything. That was funny. And their whole relationship was funny. It was like a straight romantic comedy for like the second act of the film almost. And then it just goes off the freaking rails, man. It is not happy anymore. And that's where I was like, yep, this is my number one. This is it.
Yep. I love it. When he was suffocating her, put his knee on her throat. I love that part so much.
I'm just gonna keep calling her new girl guy, but he comes into the room and he's like, "This is not your fault, man.
Yeah.
It's not your fault."
Okay, let me just say something about this part of the movie.
Okay.
Oh boy.
After this happens, this movie hit a little bit of a slump for me, and I'll tell you why, or why I think it is. I felt like you guys have talked about the comedy elements in this. I didn't find it very funny. I still enjoyed it. I just didn't think it was, I mean, I guess Bo Burnham stuff was a little bit of levity, but on the whole, I wouldn't say it's a funny movie. At this point, after she's dead, which is a shock, and it's like, oh, I did first of all, I was a shock that they actually killed her.
I thought she was playing dead at first.
I did too. I thought that she was gonna like somehow. I was like, okay, so did she just like slow her heart rate down? She's just laying there during the whole night.
Like, this chick has to die. Like,
yeah. Well, anyway, I felt like it lost a little momentum because then they start doing this comedy stuff with Schmidt, you know, whatever his name is, and the Bachelor guy. And then they burn her body and there's like a little comedy right there. And I felt like it just like hit this like little lull for me that it came back and redeemed itself by the end with her whole contingency plan. But I felt it kind of kicked, like lost a little bit of the wind out of its sails a little bit for me during that small little stretch there. I was like, oh man, this movie might suck now because of this, and then
I freaking loved it. I loved the humor just because I just felt like it was really hammering home how like ludicrous like these people were. Like,
well, they just get away with everything because they live in these white collar lives and everything. They've you know,
well,
they've never really had adversity.
What I'm saying is, I thought it was going to have this like, it's not a happy ending. It's a sad, you know, kind of like a mute note. Like, see, life sucks, everybody. I thought it was going to be one of those like type of endings, like a Coen Brothers ending or something. That's like, this movie.
I like this movie. It has to end sad.
Yeah, that's why I was like, of course he liked it.
No wonder Al's always like depressed and angry.
It did pull me back in with the whole ending sequence at the wedding.
Yeah, whenever those text messages start coming through.
Yeah.
It was very Cruel Intentions, if anybody knows what I mean by that.
Good Lord. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Same.
It's got a similar ending, post after death type.
Well,
post after death.
Post after death. That's after death.
Yeah. Got
so,
it.
So anyway, I think that Carrie Mulligan's parents were when they gave her the gift.
Stifler's mom?
Yeah, when they gave her the gift.
That's what I was trying to think of her being from.
Yeah, she was still. That's what I'm saying. She's always the same character. She's the same character in like Best in Show or whatever. So, but yeah, when they gave her that gift and she was like, thanks, and they were still treating her like she was a kid and trying to help her get over her friend dying and everything. And the one thing I really liked is how they kept kind of just giving you little tidbits of what happened to the friend. Like, you think you understand.
Yeah.
Maybe
were we supposed to know early that she had died, or that
I don't think so.
I just thought that maybe they just had some sort of fallout or something. I didn't know that. I mean, I assumed, okay, maybe she's dead, but I didn't know if that was like already stated that I missed.
I thought the friend was like in a vegetative state, or
can't say that.
I said vegetative. I didn't say the word that you said. So I felt like she may have been like
Forgot
tative. I thought she may have
Sorry,
been,
America.
Under the care.
Pay no attention to that, country boy.
What's funny is they have no context of this because it wasn't even in the episode.
Yeah. Cut it out.
Are you kidding me? All of these people are loyal viewers and listeners.
They get the Patreon stuff. So, no, I thought she may be under the care of her mom or her parents or what before we met Molly Shannon, you know, and it just, the little tidbits kept coming out about what happened that night. And I thought that was really well done. I liked the overall storytelling in this movie. I didn't think they like just said, hey, here's what happened. You know, it wasn't like it very well could have been, very easily could have been, you know, like a rushed episode of like a CSI or something, like a murder happened and now we've got to figure it out. And like the girl, like I said earlier, they could have easily had something cheap happening in the background, like the news story constantly going that,
they did a good job of stringing you along.
Yeah.
To like Carrie Mulligan's character is just this like terrible person doing awful things, but at the same time they're like slowly lifting back the curtain to what happened to her friend, which is like equally as terrible. So it's an interesting, like they're kind of pulling you in two directions with that. Well,
I'll be honest, I haven't watched any interviews with Emerald Fennell yet. And I've seen, well, actually I did watch the one that Brandon sent me. But I don't know exactly how close to home the story is for her, but it feels very close to home. I can't remember if she mentioned that, but it felt very close to home. It felt like something that may have happened around her somewhere, or she maybe have read a story about it and just kind of went, you know, full-fledged. But and I'm sure if it did happen to somebody in her life, that Hollywood would have been like, based on a true story, you know, like they would have gone nuts with that. And I'm glad they didn't do all that. I'm glad they kept the kitsch in there. I'm glad they kept the fun in there. And I'm glad they kept me guessing the entire movie, because at the end of the movie, I thought she was going to go in there and kind of like Inglourious Bastards, carve like a symbol in him so that he knows that he did this or whatever, and she was going to walk out like heroic, like, you know, with the house blowing up or whatever in the background. But I was glad it didn't. I
knew she was gonna die. There's no, if they had ended that movie with her like.
Oh yeah, no, I was glad it ended the way it ended, because it ended so poetically and perfectly. It just, I don't know. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I could go on and on about it. I don't know. I think you guys understand why it was my movie of the year. And Ryan, I'm just going to put it out there. Ryan just said he wouldn't be surprised if the end of this year, even with the Snyder Cut coming out, he said this may be his favorite movie. That's all I'm saying. I'm just putting it out there.
I did say that.
I'm just putting it out there.
We haven't seen it yet.
Brandon's like, retract it, Ryan. Retract it.
Ryan's editing this episode.
Look, all movies are in different categories, okay? If we're talking about
you
like...
said it.
All right, whatever. Let's move on. We're venturing into dark territory here right now. Someone's going to end up quitting the podcast.
It's not going to be Al this time. So, anyway, guys, you have anything else to add about this movie?
Go watch it.
Yes.
Now, actually, you should have watched it already. If you're watching this,
yeah.
But, you know, yeah.
Made it this far.
Tell everybody else to watch it.
Shame on you.
Boo this man. All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. Brandon, what would you do? Would you buy, rent, watch, sell, burn this movie? What would you do?
I mean, I would buy it when you're able to. Can't do it yet, but
yeah, that's what we mean. Ultimately,
buy it.
Wait till you can buy it. Buy it legally,
once
everybody.
It's released on physical media.
Yeah. Buy those hot copies off the streets of New York. I bought Blair Witch off the streets of New York when I was out there when I was a kid. So it was just some guy in a theater with a video camera doing the Blair Witch. Anyway, Ryan, what would you do?
Probably couldn't tell much difference between that and the movie.
Yeah, shaky cam on shaky cam. It was like...
It wasn't shaky cam anymore.
It was locked down.
Buy. Definitely buy.
Yeah, I'm going to say buy. I can only hope that one of the boutique houses get a hold of this and do like a really nice special edition. I will buy that especially. But I can't wait to watch this again.
Is this getting so this came out in 2020, is it getting any Oscar buzz, or is it coming out, or is it going to be next year?
It didn't. Well, I guess it will be for last year's, or they extended Oscars through February this year as far as those that'll be eligible. But
heard it here first.
Since it came out in Christmas, it still applies normally.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. Loophole. This movie came out last year, but it was widely released this year. So therefore, I could put it on next year's top 5 as well. Or this year's top 5 as well.
I thought you were going to say, therefore, it could win an Oscar this year and next year.
It'll win an Oscar. So anyway, all right, I would buy it. Buy it. So, yeah. All right, everybody. That's our review of Promising Young Woman. Thank you guys so much for voting for it. It's great that everybody enjoys a movie that I liked. That's not usually the case, so I'm excited. So now
you've won a fair share of them, right?
I've won a fair share of them, but doesn't mean you guys like the movies.
So you're telling me that Brandon's not going to be joining you to see The Thing in theaters in Athens in a couple months?
Yeah, right. Although he did alert me that was happening, so that was nice. All right, so now we're going to talk about what we're going to be watching next week, where all of you can vote. Ryan, do you want to tell them again where they can find us, how they can vote, and where they can share what they've been watching with us?
Yep. Easiest thing to do would be to drop down in the comments, throw your vote in there. Also, if you're on Instagram, we invite you to follow us at CiNEMACHiNE and we'll have a graphic up there where you can cast your vote for next week's review.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So this week, we're all going to nominate a movie like we did last week, and you all are going to vote on it. So we'll start with Brandon. What are you throwing up in the gauntlet?
My nomination this week is The Vast of Night. It's an Amazon original movie. It's a sci-fi movie. I think it's set in the 50s or 60s. And it looks super cool, but nobody's going to vote for it, so who cares?
Because it's Brandon. Look, as Brandon's friend, he is -2 on votes over the last 2 weeks. So please give him some votes. Al says no.
That's all right. Earned them, suckers. No, Vast of Night looks pretty interesting. Like I said, I almost watched it this week, so I'm interested. Ryan, what are you going to put out there?
We were talking about Oscars earlier. I'm going to throw kind of I guess at this point, a semi-classic up there. No Country for Old Men. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy this movie. And I hope you will too.
Okay.
Al?
I don't know. There's a gas leak in Ryan's house, apparently. So I literally have 3 movies here that I'm dancing between. And I was going to throw out a Coen Brothers movie.
Al nominates 3 movies.
So just better chances.
Odds.
I'm going to keep...
Smart move. I don't know why I didn't think of it.
I'm going to keep it going you put out Coen Brothers. I was going to put out a Coen Brothers movie, but I'm going to go push past that. I'm going to go with another Carrie Mulligan movie, and I'm going to go with Drive. I think everybody should see Drive. It's a fantastic movie. Nicholas Winding Refn. I think if you don't know him as a director, I think you should learn his name, and you should go and watch a lot of his work. That's what
if I'm a betting man, I don't think Brandon's going to win next week.
Nope.
Well, so, there's always the wrap up, Brandon, where you can talk about The Vast of Night.
Brandon's just going to start reviewing his movies over the news segments.
He reviews them to Luna. Like, sweetheart, I watched another movie this week. Dad.
He can start his own website, write an article about it, and then review his article.
Dad, I've got homework to do. Please leave me alone about your movies. Brandon's like those kids that think they have their own YouTube channel. They're like, so this is Brandon live from CiNEMACHiNE in front of his mirror, and he's talking about this movie. So it's good times. Hey, look, Al's happy when he wins, so let's keep Al happy. We'll see you all on the wrap up where we talk about what we've been watching, and Brandon fills us in on the latest movie news. See you in just a sec. All right, we're back with the wrap up. This is where we all talk about what we've been watching for the past week, and Brandon is now going to fill us in on the latest movie news. Take it away, Brandon.
Okay, well, let's see. This week...
Little energy.
Watch out, high octane.
So, guys, do you like David O. Russell movies?
Do ya?
Yeah, sure.
Do you?
Some.
Yeah. Okay.
Some.
Good.
Some.
So David O. Russell's got a new movie he's doing, and it seems to be like this. I guess I don't remember the year it's coming out. If it's this year or next year, but it seems to be the next type, like
I doubt they know either.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood type movie, as far as like the cast, like they're just like scooping up anybody who's anybody for this movie. I'm just gonna name the people so far that have signed on. You've got old Bobby De Niro, Mike Myers, Timothy Olyphant, Michael Shannon, Chris Rock, Anya Taylor-Joy. I don't know these other two. I'm not going to say them. Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Rami Malek, Zoe Saldana. Just to name a few. Pretty big cast.
Christian Bale likes David
got like
Russell.
a Knives Out situation going on here.
Yeah, it's some sort of mystery. That's the only details that have been given.
He said
but-
Robert De Niro, and like it's hilarious with him. You gotta like wait for the rest of the cast before you realize whether it could be a totally terrible role or.
Yeah, well, Robert De
just
Niro
paying
and
rent
Christian
as
Bale
well.
are kind of constants when it comes to David O. Russell. And so, I mean, De Niro is he brings his A game for him, so it's not necessarily concerning on that front for me, at least. But
Oh no,
I really like David
he was
Russell.
just
I don't
first
think
one you
he's done
listened-
anything
or you
since
mentioned.
Joy. I think is Joy the last movie that he's put out. I could be wrong, but
Don't know. You're
I'm
the news
surprised.
guy.
Also surprised that Jennifer Lawrence isn't in this because she's another constant of his.
And Bradley Cooper.
True. But anyway, that's really all there is to that story. I just wanted to put this on your radar. There's no title, no year, but the cast looks pretty interesting. And it seems like, I don't know if this is just like a common thing that we're going to start seeing a lot, is these stacked casts because movies are getting harder and harder to get greenlit. And so they're just stacking as many big names as possible to get people to show up to the theater, especially for non-IP movies. Just interesting. So that
Yeah,
is all I
He
got.
did
one
a
of those
short. He did a short
ahead.
film called Past Forward in 2016, right after Joy.
Gotcha. Sounds riveting.
So check
Just
that out.
All right, next story. Galaxy Quest 2 is supposedly still happening, according to Tim Allen, who
Yeah.
calls the script fabulous. You guys like Galaxy Quest?
Love it.
Me too. Ryan, you ever seen Galaxy Quest? Oh man, so good. Obviously, I think they were pretty close to getting this off the ground, and then Alan Rickman passed away, and so that kind of put a big, delay and kind of will they, should we even do this? So apparently they've come up with an idea that they would be able to move forward with a sequel.
face.
No, they wouldn't do that. Or maybe they would. Who knows? But anyway, I just thought that I haven't heard any movement on Galaxy Quest 2 for a while. I know it had been on and off again for a while, but I really love that movie. And talk about a good cast. That cast is, obviously Alan Rickman wouldn't be able to return, but Sigourney Weaver. You've got Sam Rockwell was pretty much an unknown for the most part at that point. Rainn Wilson. There's a lot of good names in that cast, but so that's that. Next.
So this is Brennan's job on the podcast news. He's like, yep, okay, bye.
Well, you're not saying much, so I'm like, all right, gonna move on.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Got anything to add to that? You seem to be like, oh, yeah, okay.
Well, so
Al's currently watching David O. Russell's short film.
yeah, I'm watching Past Forward. Right before that, you're right. Sam Rockwell wasn't unknown, but he was in a movie a few years before that called Box of Moonlight with Turturro, and I really think folks should find that movie and watch it. It was really good. That's what my uncle turned me on to, that Box of Moonlight movie. John Turturro, I'm sorry. And that's what kind of got me in the know of who Sam Rockwell was. And that guy does not disappoint in anything he's in. So
We've talked about Sam Rockwell a lot on this podcast,
I'm telling
especially
you.
in the beginning.
if his name started with a C, we'd have a whole podcast about him. But if he was
anything
Chris
on
Rockwell,
Galaxy Quest 2?
I'm not really excited about it because I don't know if they're going to do a good enough job or anything. And I also don't really know if I should get my antlers excited because I don't know if they're actually going to do it.
For anyone that has seen Galaxy Quest, that's not Ryan, obviously.
Are you excited?
There is a documentary.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Never Surrender. And it is on Prime Video. It's really good. Did you ever watch it? No?
I never did. I actually forgot it was around until just now.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's good. It's a good movie. Like, as far as it's one of those things, kind of like the Snyder Cut, Ryan, where the people involved in the production were so, like, they just thought this was going to be a disaster. They thought they didn't know what they had on their hands and had no faith in it. But turned out great, as we all know. Not Ryan. Okay, we can move on. This will make you excited, Al, because you love to hear this. Warner Brothers is doing a Willy Wonka prequel.
Stupid.
Did you see Paddington?
Yeah.
Did you like Paddington?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's from the director of Paddington, which that's part of the reason why.
One or two, or was it the same director for both?
I'm not sure. But I didn't see the second one, but I saw the first one, and I thought it was
even better.
I thought it was really charming. Dug it, and yes, the director of Paddington, his name is Paul King. It's going to be produced by David Heyman, who's a Harry Potter producer. Anyway, so it's a Warner Brothers picture, and it's focusing on the young days of Willy Wonka. I actually just got Luna, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for Christmas. So I'm excited to return to that because I haven't seen it in a while. I'd never saw the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory one.
Yeah, I mean, that one's a classic. I'm not looking forward to this at all, I'll be honest with you.
So he did direct both Paddington movies.
Both of them.
Paddington 2 is really good. Both of them are really good. If even you don't have to have kids to enjoy them. But can I tell you a quick funny aside about Willy Wonka?
No.
So when we were kids, my
branded segment.
I'm gonna make it interesting. So my younger sister decided
finally somebody will.
Yeah, decided she wanted a particular type of Tommy Hilfiger shirt for Christmas, and I was like, well, I'll buy it for you. So we were at the mall, and she got this. It was like an $80 shirt. I was like, all right, I'll buy it for you, whatever. So I wrapped it up, put it under the tree. She knew it. She was just like, oh man, it's coming. All right. And I had this whole, like, you know, when you're a teenager, you like to be angry at stuff. So I was angry at Tommy Hilfiger because of some things he had said. So I decided, just every time I looked at the box, I was like, I can't give her that shirt. So I went to the store and I bought Willy Wonka, and I returned the shirt. And I put Willy Wonka in the exact same box and wrapped it up exactly the same. Not thinking, like, she's going to be so upset. So Christmas morning comes around and she opens up freaking Willy Wonka. And she's like, what? And I mean, she had outfits picked out for this shirt. She knew what day she was going to wear it. She had it all planned out in her head. And it was back when they had clamshell VHS tapes. So that tells you how long ago it was. So she was upset. She was mad, and she didn't cry or anything. She was just upset and disappointed. So fast forward a bunch of years, I gave her Willy Wonka again on DVD, and then I gave it to her on Blu-ray. So that's a running joke. And then last year for Christmas, not 2020 but 2019, I did finally go and buy a Tommy Hilfiger shirt for my sister to make up because she was still upset. She always mentions the Tommy Hilfiger shirt, so she will never watch Willy Wonka the same. So it's fantastic. So good times. Amanda, you're welcome.
All right. Well,
it's good times. I enjoyed it.
This might be the worst news segment we've ever had.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, Sorry.
And Randy goes, all right.
Well, I've heard the story. He's told me
Back
the
to you,
story
Dick.
before. And Ryan wasn't listening, so.
I like to filibuster.
Days, you know.
All right.
Nothing
Well,
new,
anyway,
Brandon. It's
Willy
okay.
Wonka coming to theaters maybe in 2023 from the Paddington director. They could have picked worse directors. I'll just say that. It's promising.
Yeah.
It could be good.
Yeah, well, hey, as long as they don't go the route that Tim Burton went, that was rough. That was terrible.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but
Whew.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
haven't heard many good things about it.
Yeah, I kind of treat that movie like I treat The Sandlot. I'm not interested in anything that comes after it.
Yeah, The Sandlot. Did you see I can't remember what sequel it was. It's Sandlot. They went back in time.
That's what I'm saying. I literally I saw the first one. I have no interest in
They literally went back in time. How do you make that into a time travel movie?
I don't know. Who knows?
Anyway, please proceed, Brandon. What else you got?
This is really the last thing, which is there's another streaming service, guys. I didn't know if you were aware.
Yay!
Another one that nobody will subscribe to because why would you? But Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
Paramount Plus is coming out in March. They're folding CBS All Access into
makes perfect sense.
Well, they're folding it into Paramount Plus, and
I mean, that really is like the only thing I could think about that people would be interested in subscribing for would be Yellowstone.
Man, people love that show. I've never seen it, but people love it.
yeah, it is popular. But yeah, so they'll have Nickelodeon, MTV, BET, Comedy Central, and then Paramount's catalog
Nickelodeon
to
thing's
whatever
big, yeah.
degree that would be. I mean, it is more appealing than just the CBS All Access, but not. So, I mean, as far as like franchises, I mean, Paramount's got what, Transformers,
Mission Impossible, right?
yeah, Mission Impossible, I guess Top Gun.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to Paramount Carowinds before? The theme park? Have you heard of it?
I didn't even know his thing.
Oh man, it's in North Carolina, I believe. I think it's just called Carowinds now, but it was when I was growing up, it was called Paramount Carowinds, and so they had all these like Paramount themed roller coasters. So they had a Top Gun roller coaster, they had a Wayne's World roller coaster, they had like a Makita's Diner there. But yeah, now it's just like I don't even know if it's even open anymore. But it was like
It is open. You can buy a gold pass, but it looks like they have a water park and everything. So
yeah, it was cool when I was a kid. I mean, it was like a Six Flags type competitor. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't see this making too big of a splash. But I mean, I guess if you like your
Only thing could be, I guess, if they decide to like launch Mission Impossible on it or something.
Well, that's what the article that I was reading was saying. It's like they could. I mean, if things are still in this like iffy state when it launches, oh man, it will be in March. But as far as when, like, so they have like Paramount's got Top Gun Maverick, Quiet Place 2 still hasn't come out.
That's true. Yeah.
G.I. Joe, there's the Snake Eyes movie. Those could be exclusives, maybe. I mean, they didn't announce any of this, but they're just speculating.
Sure.
But I completely forgot that Quiet Place 2 hasn't come out yet.
I forget
that was supposed to
come out like every month.
It was supposed to come out in April last year.
Trying to forget.
What's funny is a lot of podcasts I listened to, that was the last like critic screening type like press junket that they attended before COVID and everything. So they saw it but they haven't been able to talk about it.
That sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, any other thoughts on Paramount Plus?
From my understanding, wasn't CBS where they put all the Star Trek?
They had that Star
shows.
Trek Discovery.
They had like
and
a cartoon
Picard.
and all that, and all of it kind of failed. It all kind of pooped the bed, and so
I don't know. It seemed like Discovery and I think Picard were both like
They were
popular
not well
with the fan
received
community.
by the
Really?
Star Trek people. I know that much. Yeah, the Star Trek people didn't like them because they did. I don't know much about Star Trek. I don't want to. I'm really just kind of going off.
Well, you live in the dark web, so everything's negative.
Coming from a as a Star Wars fan, it's probably best for studios to not listen to the super geeks.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But either way.
All I'm saying is Star Wars fandom gets knocked because of the toxicity because they just hate everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, it sounds like to me that the reason I brought that up is because I think CBS, what is it called? All Access or whatever.
The Office Plus. Oh, you're talking about
CBS,
Peacock.
not NBC. Yeah, or whatever. So it kind of feels like they kind of put all their eggs in the Star Trek basket, and it didn't work out. You know, like they didn't have the big welcome that they thought they were going to have, because I think they thought everybody's going to roll out the red carpet. Well, a lot of people were anyway for CBS.
Yeah, Star Trek doesn't have the brand power that Star Wars does. Like,
no, not nearly. You're right, but there are a lot of passionate fans for Star Trek. So, anyway, that's why I'm not surprised to see them kind of having to join forces with somebody else. Is what I'm saying. So,
gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
well, that's all I got, guys.
Thanks.
You did great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see that they're revamping Walker Texas Ranger?
Mm-hmm. You sent it to us.
Yeah, I think the whole appeal of that show was that it was Chuck Norris being Chuck Norris. I don't think the show
Pretty
was
sure
like...
that's just a CW show. So
I don't think people are like, hey, yeah, that was a great show. It was really well written and show was great. Yeah, so anyway. All right, well, thanks for the news, Brandon.
Yep.
All right, so now it's time for us all to tell you what we've been watching this week. Ryan, let's start with you. What you been watching, buddy?
A lot of the same. I've been watching more Sopranos. So if we want to take the time to lobby for Brandon to watch it again, we can, or we can move past that.
Maybe.
Here's something that I actually am considering, which is I know that they're doing that prequel movie. It's come out on HBO Max. I'm thinking about maybe that would be a good excuse for me to watch the series in time to watch that prequel movie.
Maybe because your friends suggested it to you for...
No, I just do it.
No, that's ludicrous.
I need a reason to do it for the pod, you know? I need some other reason than just you guys like it.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I promise.
All right.
Have I ever steered you wrong?
I'm not committing to it, but it's an idea.
Brandon, from my understanding...
sounds like a commitment.
From my understanding, it's Zack Snyder's favorite show.
Yeah. He said it on Vero.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he said it on.
I was like, what's Vero?
So, all right, so you've been watching Sopranos, which...
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, the rest of my time has been sucked up by Star Wars books in the last week.
Yeah. We keep getting random text of Ryan's book covers that he's like, finished another one. So,
yeah, so I'm 7 books deep and 3 graphic novels deep since Christmas already on Star Wars books.
Yeah, I think Brandon was the one that said you're gonna get free pizza points. And
yeah.
Six Flags ticket.
Six Flags ticket for
personal
your reading
pan pizzas.
Yeah, your reading program you're on. So everybody else is talking about other adult books they're reading. He's like, "Oh, I just finished Star Wars."
And I'm proud of it, Al. Thank you very much.
He is delving deep into them. So, yeah. Well, that's great. All right.
If there's any readers out there that like Star Wars, check them out.
Ryan, there is something that you watched recently that you could talk about.
What is that?
WandaVision.
Oh, yeah.
That good, huh?
I did. I watched the first 2. Al, you may like it.
It's black and white.
I watched the first 2 WandaVision movies. shows last week. Brandon, you watched them too, right?
Yeah.
Brandon liked him better than I did. I'm gonna have to see some quick progress in the next couple episodes for me to continue.
Definitely feels like it's going to be a slow burn. Here's the thing. We've all, on our side of the pond, so to speak, kind of like complained that Marvel sticks to this formula and doesn't do anything new. This is definitely something new, and I commend them for, I mean, it's a pretty big stride for them, I would say, to commit to this.
So I think one of the main issues for me going into it is if I was gonna rank these characters as far as my interest level in them, they're near the bottom, both of them.
I would agree.
So I don't know, and maybe it'll change as I keep watching it. I just felt like I would have enjoyed watching I Love Lucy a little more than the.
No, I mean, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. It is kind of a slog so far of a show, but in that same light, I'm like, well, they're trying. I mean, and I gotta commend them for trying to do something different.
The creativity is definitely there. They're definitely doing something different. I just didn't really know how I was supposed to react to the first episode. And the second episode.
Well, it's interesting.
The comedy, like it was kind of like a play on comedy, like old comedy, but at the same time, like it wasn't funny. And like,
I think that the telling part is that they released 2 episodes at once because they kind of know that it's going to be a slow burn for people. They're like, all right, we got to at least give them another episode to kind of string them along a little bit more.
How long are the episodes?
I don't know. Were they 30 minutes or something?
Not even, I don't think. I think they're like 25 or something. They're short.
Al, do you know what we're talking about at all?
I know what you're talking about. Okay. And every time the previews come on, I'm like, yeah.
I'm gonna give it another week or two, depending. 2 more episodes probably. Whether are they doing two episodes a week, or is that just for the first?
I don't think so. I don't think they
Tune
are.
in next week, everybody. See if Ryan likes WandaVision.
I mean, here's the thing. I feel like I think it's an interesting premise. You know, this whole like alternate reality that Wanda's built in her head supposedly, and I like the idea of them I don't know why they're doing it, but I like the idea that they're doing this, like each episode is a different decade of TV. Like, you know, they did, you know, Dick Van Dyke type episode, and then like a Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie or whatever they did for the second one. It's got like this Pleasantville vibe where they're like slowly pulling back the curtain, the layers. And
I mean, the only thing that kind of hooked me was when the beekeeper or whatever came out of the sewer in the end. Like, that was the only thing that I just felt like I was not going anywhere. Like, I just felt like I was spinning wheels the whole time, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't disagree with you.
At each other, like, I don't know.
I don't disagree with you, and I'm not a Marvel stan, so I'm not taking up for it. I just have to give them credit for at least trying to do something different. It's a big swing. I don't think it's landing. I don't think it's firing on all cylinders, but I think it's well made, but it's just not. It doesn't have any hooks right now. It's just more like.
I'll put it this way: for me, I am much more interested in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. And I'm not a Falcon fan, but I just I like the Winter Soldier character. So I'm just pulled in like that. I don't know. That's more draw to me, and how they're going to handle the shield and everything. I don't know. These 2 characters are just not.
A little too milk toast for you?
Milk toast?
Bland. Khaki.
Vanilla.
Yeah, I guess. They kind of gave a little bit of a feel for their relationship in Infinity War. And I enjoyed that in Infinity War, but it's not something that I was like, after watching the movie, I was like, I want to see more of that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I'm wondering if they're going to have Aaron Taylor Johnson in here at some point, reprising his Quicksilver.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Since they're doing this alternate reality type thing.
Sure.
We'll see. I mean, it's on Disney Plus, something to watch weekly. So I'm going to watch it, but
we'll revisit this topic.
This is the thing, Brandon. You could just fill that time with Sopranos. So
this is 30 minutes once a week.
Sopranos is 30 minutes. Like,
no, it's not.
It's 30 minutes plus special features.
Look,
That's
30
the ending
minutes.
of the
We
show.
can't start out lying to Brandon, all right?
Well, we can. So, yeah. No. Well, all right. So, Brandon watched WandaVision. You watched WandaVision. Did you watch anything else, Ryan?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
All right. Brandon? What have you been watching?
Well, I did watch.
Did anybody rush out and watch Tremors after I was...
No.
Went and picked up Tremors 7.
You know what, Al? I saw an article today about some new Tremors movie, and I had it on our doc, and I was like, nope, and I deleted it.
And instead, you got the story about the Tommy Hilfiger shirt.
I watched the latest episode of Tiger, but I'm going to wait to talk about it so Ryan can watch it and we can talk about it next week. But I'll just say that it was good. So if you haven't watched the Tiger documentary on HBO, go out there and watch it. Even if you don't like golf, it's good.
I like Brandon.
No, I like golf. Here's the thing. I told
Why
y'all this.
haven't we golfed?
Well, because it's frustrating.
Effort.
Not if you just go out there to mess around.
Whenever you want to, I'll drive you around. Let me be your caddy. Let me drive the golf cart and drink beer with you and watch you play.
All right. So what you want to be is my date on a round of golf.
I would love to be your date.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to play golf a lot. I
tuned
played
out.
about 3 times a week when I was in high school.
We're playing. We're gonna make this happen.
When I was in high school, we could
happen.
walk 9 holes for $1.50, and so I played at least 2 or 3 times a week. That was a student rate, and then it got cold. I stopped playing, and then we had tryouts for the golf team, and I shot like a 70 something on 9 holes.
Dude, that's hilarious. I had so when I tried out in high school, my buddy tried out with me, and we had 9-hole tryouts, and double par was the rules. So it was 36 par, 9 holes. So the highest you could shoot was 72. He had a terrible round, and we come in, sun's going down, and he hands him the scorecard, and he's got 74. The coach was like, the highest you could shoot was a 72. He just got his gloves, got in his car, and left.
Yeah, I was. That was the only thing I ever tried out for sports-wise at school, and I didn't make it.
Brandon, it's all right. We're gonna bring you back through golf. It's gonna happen. We'll talk about movies while we're golfing. It'd be great.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, Tiger documentary is good. We'll talk about it next week.
I play golf too, but anyway.
Do you really?
Yeah, I'm really good actually.
Oh, you
Is he messing with me? Brandon, is he messing with me?
I don't know.
No.
He's not good. I've seen him play Top Golf before. He sucks.
No, I hit the back fence. It's good Top Golf. What are you talking about?
That's a net.
Back net.
The net below your feet so you don't fall off the thing. That's what he hit.
No.
I think I've got my answer.
Okay,
Moving
I
on.
got video of Al playing Top Golf. He is not good at golf.
We'll post it to Instagram.
Maybe putt-putt. You good at putt-putt?
I have many trophies.
Okay. I've made many trophies.
Al's the golden boy.
I watched. We had nephews all weekend, so I watched a lot of more family-oriented movies. Not that that's any different from
They
any
didn't
of
watch
my.
Promising Young Woman with you.
No.
So
It didn't. My parents came over Friday night. For some reason, my dad's favorite movie is Real Steel. I don't know why, but he continues to say that's his favorite movie, even though I said, all right, we're going to watch it. Bring it over. And he's like, I have it? And I was like, yes, you have it. It's in your glass
gave
case.
It to you, Dad.
It's yeah.
Remember this olive branch?
I probably did. Anyway. We watched Real Still.
Did you catch the Limp Bizkit song in it this time?
I did. It's buried in the mix pretty heavily, actually. They were not proud of that one.
It's still there, though, Brandon.
Not for a true fan like Ryan. Mine that gold.
Have you guys seen Real Still?
No.
The Hugh Jackman
no.
joint, as we say.
Jack Hugeman? No.
It's got Evangeline Lilly in it, too. She's always good. Good. Nice to look at.
I was like, I haven't seen it. Move on.
It's actually, I mean, Real Still, props to my dad. It's a good movie. Yeah, it's good. It's a family movie, family oriented. It's boxing, father son type thing. Little tug on the heartstrings movie.
Brandon and his dad are listening to Cats in the Cradle after hugging each other.
I mean, it's not groundbreaking. It's just a solid, good little movie. It's kind of like, I would imagine, the way you feel about Sonic, Al. It's just like, it's enjoyable movie.
Serviceable. It scratches the itch if you need a family movie.
Yeah. Kids like it. Luna loved it. She was super into it. But yeah, so watch that.
I like the sequel called Chappie.
It does remind me of Chappie for sure. The effects are great in it. Like, they hold up still. I was surprised.
Brandon's a fan. Brandon's like, if that ever comes out on Criterion,
you want to change your nomination?
Yeah, right.
I was surprised at how well the effects held up with the robots, fidelity wise. They looked good. For whenever this movie came out, 2013 maybe. I don't remember when it came out. Anyway. Watch that. My nephews were over for the rest of the weekend. Slate, who is 4 or 5, he wanted to watch Lord of the Rings, so we watched Fellowship. We watched the first disc of Fellowship, and he was super into it, but we never got around to finishing
the extended, I take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
We didn't have time to finish it, but
man, I put that one on with my new projector recently. It's so
Q-Zippy.
It's great. Yeah, the Q-Zippy.
Yeah. So yeah, watch that. Aquaman, which I sent you guys video of us watching that. Good old Africa. Pop song in the middle. You got to make the most of it, you know? That's what's funny. The reason why we watched Aquaman, every time Slate comes over, he wants to watch Aquaman.
That's great. And I love that.
But he's never made it through the whole movie. He falls asleep about halfway through. But this time, he made it through. Watched the whole thing.
Nice. There you go.
And then yesterday was Melissa's birthday, and we Luna wanted to pick a movie to watch in the theater for Mom to sleep to. So we
she actually say that?
Yeah. And so we watched Kubo and the Two Strings. Have y'all seen Kubo and the Two Strings?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Another good little gem of a movie. It's a Leica Studios movie. I've talked about Leica before on the podcast. So it's stop animation, and it's Travis Knight directed it. I just love all those movies. They vary in quality in terms of just a movie, and this one's actually one of the more top quality movies of their recent efforts. But I just love that process. I love the animation style, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone that hasn't seen it. So there's my movies.
Cool.
Sorry it took so long.
It's all good.
Yeah.
This one might take longer.
So I watched Tremor. No, Although, whenever
I
I
rewatched
said,
Tremors again.
so last week I said I didn't watch 3 and 5 because they weren't streaming. And then we do the podcast and everything, and I go back, and now 3 and 5 are streaming.
What?
So now we get to be blessed by the review of 3 and 5.
All right, go ahead.
But by the way, Brandon, all the Miyazaki animation movies are streaming on HBO Max, so you might want to.
I am aware. They actually have a new one coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty excited. If you haven't seen the Miyazaki movies,
I haven't
really
actually.
no idea what
I do want to watch them.
They are good. When I studied animation in college, for the little bit that I did that, we had to watch them all, and my teacher, we watched all those.
Studio Ghibli is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, Spirited Away. So, anyway, I watched go figure, I watched a movie from the 80s. I watched a movie called Running Scared with Billy Crystal.
Paul Walker.
Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. I don't think that's a remake of this movie. I don't know anything about that movie, but anyway, it's a buddy cop movie, and I don't know why, but I think Billy Crystal's funny, especially back in his heyday. I find him charming in like When Harry Met Sally and movies like that, and City Slickers. So, he's making his little comments and everything during this one. He's wearing a Cubs jersey. I'm a Cubs fan, so that works out nicely. And they're in Chicago. But this movie has the worst snow I've ever seen in my life. It looks like somebody took a fire extinguisher and just like...
You were hung up on snow.
Yeah, I know. It's 2 weeks in a row.
Sorry. So
Was it from the desert too?
You do snow right.
Yeah. Wonder Boys. So anyway, they did it right. So anyway, it literally, so I'm watching this with a friend of mine, Paul, and he said, that snow looks weird. And it literally looks like somebody took a fire extinguisher and just sprayed it like on parts of the street. And it looks like, some people get snow in a can.
I thought you were saying that it was falling and you could see it like...
No, it was just like clumps over here, like gotcha. clumps. It looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man exploded.
But
no, it's really bad. But anyway, the movie itself was big, dumb, fun, action, 80s movie. I think it was 86, 85, something like that. This movie came out.
86.
So, okay, there we go. So,
and then 2006 for the Paul Walker one.
Man, gotta wait all those years. So.
Wait, were you watching it with Paul Walker?
No.
His name was Paul. You said you watched for your friend Paul. Never mind.
He's dead.
Too soon, right?
Oh, thanks, Al.
So anyway, this movie was silly fun. Some fairly good performances in it. I say if you want to watch an 80s movie, it'll scratch the itch. I think it was streaming on Stars, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen here where it was really, but I'm pretty sure it was Stars. And then I started something I've always wanted to watch, and I just never have taken the time to do it. But I started the show Twin Peaks. Don't worry, I'm not going to come in here every week. I think I'm just going to do an episode of Criterion Corner eventually about Twin Peaks, because they have released the movie on Criterion, which I own the movie, but I've never watched the show, so I wanted to watch it all. And so they have the 2 seasons of the original show, the movie, and then they have the what's ultimately the 3rd season of the show that Showtime put out. So about a year or 2 ago. So I know 9 Inch Nails ended up on the newer show and everything, but this show is David Lynch. And like, I don't know if you guys seen Mulholland Drive, the movie, David Lynch movie.
Yes.
for certain reasons, I'm guessing. So Brandon He didn't really see it. So that was originally supposed to be a show, and then they just kind of edited it down to be a movie when the show got canceled. So this show is originally broadcast on CBS, I believe, but it's streaming on Hulu. So I said, why not? I watched the first episode. The first episode's an hour and a half, and it's about the local like prom queen, beauty pageant girl, Laura Palmer, ends up dead, and they live in this small little quirky town, and everybody's trying to figure out who killed Laura Palmer, and that's where I am right now. So I'm trying to figure it out as well, and it's pretty gripping. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. So I'm very excited to continue watching that. But yeah, no marathons this week. I know you're upset, but yeah, I think I'll just do a full episode of Criterion Corner in the near future once I finish all of this, and I'll kind of report it all at the same time. So if anybody wants to watch with me, guys, just saying, I'll let you come on Criterion Corner. We can get you a sweatshirt.
Oh, you're talking to us?
Yeah.
No.
What?
God.
So
It's a principal thing, Al.
we got street cred. So anyway, so that's what I've been watching this week, and yeah, it's a really good show. So I highly suggest everybody go out and watch it, and then just kind of ingest the movie and the new season, and then whenever I put out the episode of Criterion Corner, then we can all talk about it.
Stellar.
Woo. I think so.
That's good.
Look, let's just start slow with The Sopranos for Brandon.
I really do. I will say this. I think both of your wives would enjoy Twin Peaks so far, from what I've seen and from what I understand the show to be. The show is one of those shows people talk about quite a bit. So I don't know the ending of the show, and I think it actually cliffhangs, and that's why the movie comes. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing. That's my new binge. So, all right.
Cool. Yeah, well, I'm looking at
Mm-hmm.
Sopranos right now. Mm-hmm. Man, there's so many episodes, guys.
It's so worth it, though. Hey, everybody.
Did they ever have...
Take a break from It's Always Sunny in Philly.
Did they fall victim of a writer's strike at some point so that they have less episodes?
Well, they took a break from the show. So the last season ended up being 2 parts, but they took like a year or 2 off in between the next to last and the last season. So,
man, still a lot. 7 seasons. No, so 1, 2,
7
3,
seasons
4,
of
5, 6, 7.
Greatness. Oh my God.
Jinx.
All right, what's the name? All the Many Saints of Newark. Is that what the movie is called?
Yes.
Yeah. And it comes out when?
You're the news guy.
I'm just trying to figure out if this is going to be doable for me. Many Saints of Newark. Release date September 24th, 2021. The day after my birthday.
Plenty of time.
All right. I will watch this series.
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right. So no more talk of Sopranos on here. We'll have like chorizo cast or whatever we want to have. And then we'll have, we'll just all talk about Sopranos. I'm excited.
All right.
I'll make a commitment to watch it.
Nice. Awesome.
Everybody.
Melissa will like it too. It's funny.
It's funny. It's gripping. The acting is outstanding.
Well, my boy John Bernthal is in the movie, so
you're also gonna want to eat a lot of pasta as you watch this show.
When I originally watched this show, every Sunday I watched the new episode, and I had to have Italian food because I was like, I had a hankering for it after the first few. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta have. Yeah, it's get some pasta. You got to get the gabagool.
Get your spaghetti in a bag and bring it to bed like Charlie.
I used to work with a guy that at lunch he would have spaghetti in a Ziploc bag, just spaghetti, no sauce or anything, and he'd pour a little bit of water in it, put it in the microwave, and then he'd pour Parmesan cheese into the bag and just eat it out of the bag for lunch.
Is he a sociopath?
I don't know.
So this is a single guy you're talking about?
No, he was married.
Oh my God.
Sup, Josh?
You know who you are? Oh.
Dislike.
Brandon's going to start coming on here with a lot more attitude after he starts watching Sopranos. It's going to get a little more
Sup, Josh?
feisty. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in to CiNEMACHiNE. We always have a great time. We hope that you all enjoy Promising Young Woman and many other things that we might not have watched. So, Ryan, you want to tell them how they can tell us what they've been watching, maybe suggest some things to us that we could be watching?
Yep, easiest thing to do would be drop down in the comments on YouTube. You can cast your vote there. It'll get counted, I promise. And then on Instagram at CiNEMACHiNE we post the review links there, as well as a graphic where you can vote for reviews next week. So that's what we got going on.
Yeah, and hit like, subscribe, all them buttons. It really helps us out. We want to make sure we get out to as many people as we possibly can. So thank you all for your help. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, everybody, keep watching movies, and we'll see you on the next CiNEMACHiNE.
So long.